So I'm out in the garage a couple nights ago working on the car, and I heard some dripping over at the boiler. I came to inspect, and there was water on the floor. So what I've done is set a pan here. Emptied this last night at about 9:30 at night. It's 4:30 in the morning right now, and you can see it's filling up. So what I did last night is I went and bought some supplies so I can change this relief valve here, this pressure relief, and then the expansion tank, and I'll show you what I bought to do that. Last night I ended up going to Home Depot and I bought an expansion tank, the hot water boiler relief valve. Make sure you're getting the relief valve for a boiler, not for a hot water tank. This is set at 30 psi and a hot water tank's like 150. So, you wreck your whole unit with that if you get the wrong one. And then I bought a nipple because I needed threads coming out, and I bought some tape. So it was $67 for the expansion tank. Then the relief valve was $25.57, so 26. So 67, 26. I bought a nipple here, which was about $10, and then $2 for the thread tape. So I'm going to show you how to change that out. First thing I'm going to do is change out that expansion tank before work, and then when I come home after work I'll see if I need to race to get that relief valve done. So the boiler's running right now, and what ends up happening is when it shuts down, this will be dripping, and I'll show you that. So the furnace just shut off, or the boiler just shut off, and it didn't drip at all. So it's not dripping every time. So I'm going to get in here at the expansion tank first. First thing I did is I turned the boiler off. I've shut the water off. So again, when the bar is going sideways, that means water doesn't flow. When the bar is going the same way as the pipe. So if this was down, now water would be flowing through the pipe. So to shut it off, I'm going to turn that at a 90-degree angle, and then I'm going to end up spinning this off. So now with it off, I'm going to end up so this should drain the pressure off the tank, so as I'm unscrewing it, it's not leaking everywhere. So there's probably close to 2 gallons in here, but that's released that pressure. Otherwise, when I start unscrewing that, water's going to spray everywhere. So we'll let that drain all the way out. So when I drained that water out, it wasn't hot water, so I didn't have to worry about burning myself. I'm not guaranteeing that yours isn't, but this was not. So now that we've drained this, we're going to end up taking this off. So the next step here, we're going to spin this off. And this might be super heavy if it's full of water. So as you start getting closer to the edge, I don't know. That probably only weighed about 15 pounds. So. Next, I'm going to put some of this thread tape on here. Try to get all the foam cleaned off of there that might have got in there. And then we'll screw it in. There we go. And then this should just be tightened by hand. There's a spot for a wrench, but there we go. And that's it. So now we've got the expansion tank in, and I'm going to test that out. You don't have this release valve when you're unscrewing this. Just go real slow. Once it starts leaking, you're going to have to let it drip out. There's quite a bit in there. I'm going to put a date on here, 18. And then that way I'll know about when this is going to go bad. So if I get about 6 years out of this, I should be good. After I got it dated, I turned this valve so it was closed, so water's not coming off. It's going against the pipe, not with the pipe. Then I turned this valve on, and now the water, it's with the pipe, so water can flow through. Water flowed through into the tank. You could hear it bubbling out and filling in. Air came out, and I did hear some air released from here, so the air from the system was draining out. Next thing I'm going to do, I don't hear any more pressure, it's kind of equalized, and I'm going to hit that switch to turn it back on. So then when you're done, this is turned back on, the boiler's going. Come check your tank, so make sure it's not leaking here. This is not, and then also check on the bottom. You know, it is a sealed fitting, but just to make sure that that's not leaking in case it got damaged somewhere along the way. So far this seems good. Now that I know that the expansion tank isn't leaking, I've let it run a few cycles, the boiler, and I haven't gotten any new water to leak out. In the tote, after I drained the old expansion tank, there's probably 2 gallons of water in here. So it was fuller than I thought it was actually. It looks like it's about a 3-gallon tank. So hoping this is the deal.